My cat is scratching up the couch. God damn it. Hey! Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Drunk Camera Reviews. Today, we have my Mamiya RZ67 Professional, which has been in my camera bag for about 7 months now, and I've been really enjoying it. This camera is kind of a wonder of modularity and just being able to kind of change things up, and it always keeps things fresh, and yeah, it's just a really, really nice camera to use. So I'm going to go through all of its kind of features that it has, which is really kind of what sets it apart from other cameras like Hasselblad, and yeah, I'm going to just kind of go over my thoughts about it. So I hope you stick around, and yeah, be sure to subscribe so that way you can potentially see the next video, which I might put out not in 5 years from now. So yeah, let's get to it. Now this, the RZ67 version 1, or the RZ67 Professional 1, is based off of the RB67, and they just kind of updated it. The RB was fully mechanical. The RZ series does need a battery, which is a bit of a bummer, but we make do. You just got to replace a battery. Now this one, the RZ67 Professional version 1, was released in 1982. And then the version 2 was released in 1993, and the 2D was released in 2004. And kind of minor changes. They added like some better increment stops on the shutter speed dial. And then the 2D version added support for digital backs, which is pretty sweet. I'd like to get my hands on that. Now, the RZ, since it was taking its name from the RB67 stood for rotating back. So actually, if you flip this switch right here, you can take this entire back and turn it portrait. So now you have a portrait 6x7 frame instead of landscape, which, goddamn, if that is not the most convenient feature on this camera. I swear to God. This is just wonderful to have. To not have to turn the entire camera to shoot. You just turn the back. That's so nice. Since this is a modular camera, the backs are fully removable, and they feature a 120 back and a 220 back film, 120 and 220 film, in sizes ranging from 6x7, 6x6, and 6x4.5. The film backs are pretty simple. They do have a ISO dial right there, which is nice because it allows me to kind of remember what film I put in the back. Right now, this one has Portra 160 in it, and I can just slap that back on. There's a lock right underneath of here, and that allows you to, and the lock does change position when you actually do. So now the lock is on this side, and it does allow you to remove it portrait as well. So you can just pop these on all willy-nilly, turn it all around, and it is super nice. And it just locks it in place. As for the lenses are all fixed focus, and they have a locking ring right here that allows you to take it off. Now these are all leaf shutter lenses. So the leaf shutters are built in to the lenses, and they are all electronically controlled by the body. So you can just attach that. I have another lens over here in case I wanted to slap that on there. But these lenses are very, very interesting because while they do have all of the aperture controls, they focus via extension, which is great. They use these knobs on either side, which is kind of nice. They're on both sides. And that allows you to focus, and it focuses really close, which is awesome. Now the two lenses that I have on here, I have the 110mm f2.8. This is kind of the standard 50mm lens. Absolutely fantastic lens. This is probably my favorite lens in the lineup, but we also have the 50mm f4 lens. This one is a little bit bigger, as you can see, but this is the equivalent of about a 24mm point of view or a field of view, and the 110 is about a 50 millimeter. So I have a nice wide and a nice standard lens. But I'll put the standard lens back on there for now, just because that's the one I like to keep on there. But the 50 millimeter is really nice. I took a bunch of pictures when I was out in New Jersey this past week. So nice. Now this camera truly is like super modular. Everything comes off, including the viewfinder. So you have this top-down viewfinder, which you can see. You can look up to it. There's my hand up there. But the viewfinder is very nice. It also comes with a diopter, which flips down with a little press of a lever. And this allows you to get a nice, close focus so you can make sure you're focused accurately. But say if you don't want this, you don't want this, you don't want the top-down viewfinder. Well, you push these two buttons on the side, and it pops right off. And then you have a look at the focus screen, which has a few indicators on it. There is a battery indicator, which will light up if the battery is good, which is convenient. It also will light up if you leave the dark slide in. Like if you've left the dark slide in and you're trying to take a picture, it's going to pop a light on. Ugh. So you don't really have to worry about losing it too much. But there's also a 90-degree viewfinder for this camera, and I think a 45-degree viewfinder. But right now, I just have the standard waist level finder, as they call it. You just kind of pop it on top and push down, and there you go. All set. It is kind of nice because it does fold very nicely, and it fits in a camera bag pretty well. It is still big. This thing weighs 5 pounds, like loaded like this, so it's a heavy camera, and I do not have a camera strap for it, which I deeply regret because my arms get tired. Although they're getting big, they're getting tired. So if we wanted to, we can go over do a little overview of the camera. First thing up, right down here, we have basically the on and off switch. So as you can see, there's a little white dot right there where it's red. Now that is off. So if you turn it to be right there, now it is on. But if you wanted to, you could turn it beyond this. Go the other way. And now it's beyond this white dot. And this actually puts it in a manual shutter mode. So this allows you to still fire the camera even if it doesn't have a battery, but you are limited to one shutter speed, and that is 1/400th of a second. 1/400th of a second. So if in rare cases, if the battery is dead, you do have an option to shoot manually. Now this is blocked, so you can see I can't push it any further until you push this little guy down. So it's not too bad, but it's also a convenience to have, just to be able to do that. Now, on this side, this is kind of where you have most of your important stuff. You've got your focus knob, and then you also have your shuttercock. So when you fire the camera, push this all the way down, cocks the shutter back, and it also advances the film, so then you can take your next shot. Up here, you have the rewind, or not rewind, rotate, for rotating the camera back. And then you also have M, for multiple exposures. So this will allow you to fire the camera, and it will not advance the film. So then you could take another picture and do a cool multiple exposure on film, which is pretty darn sweet. On the other side, we have a electronic hot shoe, which you can use for a flash. You also have a focus knob lock, which will lock the camera in focus. So say you want it right to about there, and then you can take this, lock it, can't move it. Very convenient to have. And then you also have shutter speed. So this has your shutter speed options that you can go through. And it also has, you have a variety of shutter speeds to go through. and it's got a little lock there, and then you've got all these shutter speeds if you, whatever you want to do. And then I think on the bottom, you've got your battery. You've got your little battery compartment, which then just snaps closed. You've also got a little little connector. I think this is for an electronic shutter release. There's just a little slide to cover it. But yeah, that's basically a general tour. Oh, there's also a, there's another connector. I think this is the shutter release or the electronic shutter release, but oh, the other one might be for the motor drive. See, I don't use any of these ports really, so not super familiar with exactly what they do. But I do believe this one is for the electronic shutter release. So you get a little push button to fire the shutter. But yeah, so that's a general overview of the Mamiya RZ67. I can even just pop that up there. This is kind of how I've been using it along with my 50mm lens for the past few months. And it has been really nice to shoot. And I did have a Hasselblad 500 CM for a while, and I've actually been enjoying this camera more than the Hasselblad. The Hasselblad was definitely more compact. I will give it that. This thing is not much bigger, but it is bigger than the Hasselblad. The Hasselblad also kind of has the whole Hasselblad name, so it's a bit fancier, but that one is also fully mechanical. While this one is electronic, I do kind of enjoy this one just a little bit more. The focusing is definitely easier, just turning these knobs rather than having to sit up front here and turn the whole lens. I end up just kind of holding it like this, finger on the shutter, and I can just kind of turn this and just rapidly rack focus to wherever I need to. And it's just been really, really nice to use. I took this to the Ocean City, New Jersey for a little bit, for a little vacation, but I was mainly using it with this. Now this back is made by an Instagram user that I know called Han Chen, and it is a Instax, or Zinstax, as they call it, back for the Mamiya. And this thing has been my favorite thing to use. I've shot countless photos with it, and man, I feel like that needs its own review in and of itself, but for now, that thing has been my favorite. Overall, I really like the RZ67 Professional. If I could, I would try to get the version 2 just to have a little bit more control with the shutter speeds because it adds half-stop increments. But this thing has been rock solid the entire time I've had it. I've taken photos. I usually go to Cars and Coffee just for some fun. I take my Miata out there and got some really, really cool pictures with this, and that I've been really having a blast with. And I took some pictures of my wife and her horse with the 50mm one. Those came out okay. I was a little bit more, I don't know, maybe it was the film. Just gave it like a weird hue, but either way, this thing has been so much fun to use. And yeah, I see myself using this more and more as time goes on. I also want to try and get some more lenses. These two are good, but I'd like to get maybe like a longer lens so I can do some like really close-ups. But yeah, it has just been fantastic. So that's probably going to do it for me today. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. If there was anything that I missed, just let me know, and I can hopefully correct it in a comment, or I can just let you know. You can also follow me on Instagram at Jim Lavery Photo. If you've stuck with me this far, thank you so much. I'm hoping to see you guys next month as well with another review of a certain waterproof camera that I picked up as well. And that's also been a really good time. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.